I've got 2 words: above expectations. That'll probably do it. Well above expectations. There's 3 words. I think at the start of the season, everyone would have been happy with Europa League. I mean, there's no question. Anyone who said that they thought we were going to be top 4 this season, I think would be, wildly optimistic or lying. I think now, however, the way that sort of the form is, and the way that other people's form is so inconsistent, like Tottenham, like West Ham, we really should be favourites for 4th, and we probably are. We need to keep where we are now and get top 4, but at the start of the season, I don't think that was a realistic hope. I think now it's a very realistic hope. I think people are taking notice of what's happening at Arsenal, and not particularly Arsenal Football Club, but Mikel Arteta. When you see him linked to PSG, you see him linked to Barcelona, people know that he spent time with Wenger. They know he was being, tutored by Pep Guardiola, and they see what's happening at Arsenal. You always felt that you would give him time because he's an Arsenal man. I know he played for lots of clubs, but he finished his career at Arsenal, and you knew in his heart that he was an Arsenal man, and he always had the best interest of the club at heart. So you're always going to give someone like that a little bit more time than someone who has no association, coming into the club. And he did make mistakes. We saw a complete change the summer before when he was bringing on almost what seemed to be players that were forced upon him by agents or the backing Willian, and the things that were bringing in Luiz, Willian, Cedric, older players. A lot of it didn't work. Murray didn't work, but suddenly that complete change last summer. So he's learned from his mistakes, and every good coach, every good manager will make mistakes, but the good ones, the really good ones, will learn from them and say, okay, even if they say it quietly to themselves, I was wrong, I got it wrong, and I'm going to change it. And he seems to have done that. We've changed the focus. We've gone for this huge influx of young players who obviously have potential but haven't reached it yet. And obviously Arteta is so confident in himself and his staff that he thinks he can turn those 22, 23-year-old players to potentially into superstars, which is exactly what's happening. And you combine that with the tenacity and the talent of the Smith Rowes and the Sakas and the youth of this world, the Martinellis, with the new signings, you've got that fantastic blend now. And if you actually look, it's quietly been a bit of a revolution. The longest serving player at the club is probably 3-4 years, if you exclude the Bellerins of this world who are out on loan. So it is virtually a brand new squad. What's lovely now is the players that are there. And it's a very small, tight squad now with so many players departing on loan or being sold. The players that are there are so obviously backing him 100% and believe in what he's trying to do, which is all you ever want, really, isn't it? It's the leaders thing. Arsenal for many years were a bit rudderless when things were going against them. There wasn't the gravitas, the experience, there wasn't the Vieiras or the Adams of this world. And suddenly, even though the younger players, we've suddenly got leaders all over the pitch. We've got Lacazette up top. We've got Odegaard in midfield, who's just wow. What a £30 million bargain that is. I mean, Real Madrid must be absolutely scratching their heads as to why they did that. And then you've got White and Gabriel at the back. You've got Ramsdale. You've got a spine of a team that are all leaders and all will perform when the chips are down. I hasten to say it, but even Granit Xhaka I would throw into that. He seems to have, whether he's here next year or not, but he's learned his lesson. He's not making those silly fouls. He knows he needs to be on the pitch because he's the senior player, and they're all doing it. Arsenal's best player this season has been Bukayo Saka. If you take it across from the start of the season, and particularly, Odegaard has come better and better and better, is now probably our best performing player. We had that spell at the beginning when Ramsdale came in where he was unbelievable. The errors have crept in. He's not quite at that initial level. So they're the other 2 candidates. But Bukayo Saka, and particularly given that he had to bounce back from such a horrendous end to his summer for England. I mean, the character of the young man is just unbelievable, and it's not just Arsenal fans saying this. I think England fans see it. I think fans of other clubs see it. There's just a resilience. I mean, at the weekend, and obviously I sit quite close to the pitch, where I sit at Arsenal, and he was clattered so often. So often he's targeted. I imagine, I haven't seen the stats. I would like to see them, because last year it was obvious Grealish was the most targeted player and the most fouled player in the Premier League. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it's Saka this season, because he's just kicked continuously. He's doubled up on, but his strength, his upper body strength and the ability to sort of hold the ball and keep possession in tight situations has moved to a different level. And I think he's gone from being an exceptional player to, beyond that. I think he's bordering on world class right now.